The arena lights dimmed to a hushed whisper as two legends stepped into the octagon that night in Hong Kong. I was there, front row, watching history unfold before my very eyes. This wasn't just another fight. This was a collision of martial arts dynasties, a meeting of two philosophies that would determine the true heir to combat supremacy. In the red corner stood Brandon Lee, 28 years old and carrying the weight of his father's legendary legacy on his shoulders. The son of Bruce Lee moved with that familiar feline grace, his muscles coiled like springs beneath his skin. Standing 6 feet tall with a lean 180-pound frame, Brandon possessed his father's lightning-fast reflexes, but had evolved the family fighting style into something uniquely his own. Where Bruce focused on pure speed and precision, Brandon had added devastating power to the equation. His training regimen was nothing short of obsessive. 5 hours daily in the dojo, another 2 hours of strength conditioning, and endless hours studying fight footage. Brandon's Jeet Kune Do had been refined through years of street fighting experience and formal training under masters across 3 continents. His signature technique, the Phantom Punch, could land before opponents even registered movement. But Brandon carried psychological baggage too. The pressure of living up to his father's myth sometimes made him overthink situations that required pure instinct.
Across the octagon, Jim Kelly commanded respect through sheer presence alone. At 35, the karate champion from Kentucky stood 6'2" and weighed 210 pounds of pure muscle. Kelly's tournament record spoke volumes: 17 consecutive victories, 14 by knockout. His Shotokan karate base had been enhanced by boxing training that gave his strikes sledgehammer impact. Where other fighters relied on fancy techniques, Kelly believed in fundamental devastation. Kelly's mental game was his greatest weapon. The man was unshakable under pressure, having grown up fighting in underground tournaments where losing meant more than just defeat. His signature spinning back kick had ended more fights than any other single technique in tournament history. Kelly's weakness was his tendency to become methodical when he should have pressed advantages. Sometimes his patient approach allowed quicker opponents to find rhythm. The opening bell rang and both fighters circled cautiously. Round 1 belonged to Brandon, who used his speed advantage to land quick combinations before dancing away from Kelly's powerful counters. The crowd roared as Brandon's left hook found its mark, snapping Kelly's head back. But Kelly absorbed the punishment and kept pressing forward, his game plan clear: make this a war of attrition. Round 2 shifted momentum dramatically. Kelly trapped Brandon against the cage and unleashed a brutal body shot combination that doubled the younger fighter over. Brandon's speed meant nothing in close quarters, where Kelly's strength dominated. The Kentucky native followed up with a devastating uppercut that sent Brandon stumbling backward, blood trickling from his nose. By round 3, both men were breathing heavily. Brandon had adjusted his strategy, using his reach to keep Kelly at distance while picking him apart with precise strikes. Kelly's left eye was swelling shut, but his expression never changed. He absorbed punishment like a stone statue, waiting for his moment to strike back. The 4th round produced the first knockdown. Kelly caught Brandon with a perfectly timed counter as the younger man rushed in. The spinning back kick, Kelly's signature weapon, connected flush with Brandon's solar plexus, sending him crashing to the canvas. The arena erupted as Brandon struggled to his feet at the 8th count, his legs shaky but his determination intact. Round 5 became a showcase of heart versus technique. Brandon, knowing he was behind on points, abandoned caution and engaged Kelly in brutal exchanges. Both men stood toe-to-toe in the center of the octagon, trading bombs like heavyweight boxers.
Kelly's nose was broken, streaming blood down his chest. Brandon's left eye was completely swollen shut, forcing him to fight half-blind. The turning point came in the 6th round. Brandon fainted high, then swept Kelly's legs, sending the bigger man crashing down. As Kelly scrambled to regain his footing, Brandon pounced with a flurry of strikes that had the crowd on its feet. For the first time all night, Kelly looked vulnerable, his granite composure cracking under the relentless assault. Round 7 pushed both warriors beyond their limits. Kelly, desperate to regain control, pressed forward with reckless abandon. His power shots were landing, but Brandon's conditioning allowed him to absorb punishment while maintaining his blistering pace. The younger fighter's combinations were becoming more precise as Kelly's reaction slowed from accumulated damage. In the 8th and final round, exhaustion became a third fighter in the ring. Both men were running on pure willpower, their technical skills reduced to basic survival instincts. Kelly landed a massive right hand that staggered Brandon, but lacked the energy to follow up effectively. Brandon responded with a lightning-fast combination that opened a cut above Kelly's right eyebrow. With 30 seconds remaining, both fighters threw caution aside for one final exchange. They met in the center of the octagon, trading desperate hooks and uppercuts. The crowd was delirious as both men refused to retreat, their legendary pride preventing either from backing down. When the final bell rang, both warriors collapsed to their knees in exhaustion. The arena fell silent as we waited for the judge's decision. After 8 rounds of absolute warfare, one name echoed through the speakers. Brandon Lee had won by split decision, but barely. His superior conditioning and slightly higher volume of clean strikes had earned him the narrowest of victories. Kelly had pushed the son of Bruce Lee to his absolute limits, proving that power and heart could match speed and technique. Both men had cemented their legacies that night, delivering a fight that martial arts fans would discuss for decades. Brandon Lee had stepped out of his father's shadow, but Jim Kelly had shown the world that respect must be earned through blood and determination.